Welcome back to the second segment of the April 15th Trips and Traps. Andy Serling along with Eric Donovan.
Let's get back onto the turf for our first race of the second segment. We'll go to the 10th, and race number 5, we're looking at the 1 Adirondack Warrior, who will break from post 3.
Yeah, and you'll watch Adirondack Warrior, and not much will happen. It's all good early. It's all going fine for Adirondack Warrior. And one of the problems when you start running on this turf at Aqueduct, it's a different ball game, and there are a lot of apprentices that rode here in the winter that have never really had experience on the turf. And they're inexperienced, and it really shows in this turf course. It's been showing up for the whole week and a half we've been running on him, because this horse is being ridden by 7-pound bug rider Antonio Lopez. And everything's sort of fine up to this point. He's in a very good position. He's too wide. He's right off the leader, tucked great. Things go awry when they hit the turn.
At the turn, Adirondack Warrior gets out about 3 or 4 paths and takes another horse out with him. But Adirondack Warrior, clearly, a horse that probably took the worst of it here. I know it affected the other horse a little bit too, but Adirondack Warrior is going to end up wide pretty much the whole way around here. And this is a horse that's shown some ability on the dirt. This was his first time on the turf.
Yeah, I agree. This is as the first turf race. This is a horse that's wide, has a trouble in the first turn. You'll see him have even worse trouble in the second turn. The rider couldn't control him, and this little horse never stopped running. I mean, he never gives up at all. In fact, he comes on again at the end. And this is not an easy trip chasing 3 wide. You've got the eventual winner right behind him on the rail, Bishop of Nola, getting an absolutely perfect trip and perfect ride from Jose Espinoza. We'll get to him later. We'll nail him in the next race. But and Adirondack Warrior, he just runs his heart out.
He does run his heart out here, and I'd like to see a jock change next time out. This horse has been ridden 5 times in a row by apprentice riders, and I think especially, as you pointed out, on the turf, you really need to go with an experienced rider. If you're going to go with an apprentice, make sure he's got some experience and strong. He's going to end up in the 5 or 6 path turner for home here.
And not only that, you think of the position that he lost, losing the ground and dropping farther back. You would have thought he might just disappear from the screen, yet here he comes again. He continues to run. He never gives up an inch in this race. He really runs well.
Really does run well. Only gets beat. Doesn't get beat much in here. How much does he get beat? Let's see, 4.5 lengths in this spot here. Comes on Game Leaf to for the show spot there. Out finishes the 8 horse in the race. So I thought it was a promising effort for Adirondack Warrior. I just think you need a new rider next time.
I agree. It's one thing to get this weight off with the apprentices if you really think it matters, but on these turf races, it's not going to help you. It's going to hurt you, and you need to get an experienced rider. And Adirondack Warrior, I'm sure there are plenty of guys in the room that would be very happy to ride Adirondack Warrior in a similar spot next time out that can win with him. And this is a horse that ran very well.
We'll volley back to the dirt for our last race of this segment, race number 7 from the 10th. This was a maiden claiming race for New York, race 25,000. Kind of a dynamics race. We're going to look at horses up on the front, and we're going to look at where the winner was early in the race and what the jockey did to help him win the race.
Yeah, I thought this was an exceptional ride by Channing Hill. You see 5 horses are actually going for the lead at this point, and this was a race where the first second finishers were first-time starters. Now, here is the horse who runs second. Good spot for Edgar Prado. Channing Hill, who's riding the eventual winner, he was involved in the duel, but he did the right thing. The 10 horse outside, and we said we'd get to Jose Espinoza, was the 4th finisher, Dade City. He did not do the right thing. He had the outside post and didn't do anything to take advantage of it. He battled so hard the whole way around. Channing took off, but Channing makes another exceptional move here and later. He takes him to the rail. It's subtle. But Prado, who's behind him, is forced to go outside of him, and that has a real effect later in the race.
Yeah, it was a brilliant ride by Channing Hill, and you see Dade City still flailing away 3 wide, chasing her up on the pace, setting that fast pace. And once again, we'll just freeze it right here and show you where the 1-2 finishers are and where the eventual 4th place finisher, Dade City, is around the turn there. A hot pace here. Obviously, it's set up for horses to come from off the pace. And, Dade City, the rider probably would have made the right move just by taking him back a couple lengths, doing what Channing Hill did here.
Right, and not only that, Channing stays on the rail there. Edgar goes around, which in some ways is a right move, and obviously I had no choice in that situation, but because Channing didn't panic and move outside, and now he slips out here, everything works out well for him to win a very slim victory. But Dade City, you could say, nearly there, who battled inside here the whole way, he also runs extremely well in here. The thing was, he was committed because of the rail. There's nothing you could do on the inside, particularly that horse. Dade City may have had an option and perhaps could have raided off them and might have run down nearly there. Now, you want to say, well, the pace wouldn't have been as hot nearly there. Might have held on. I don't know about that, because I think that Dade City would have saved more by going back in there. There were some good rides, good tactical moves. In retrospect, maybe not the best tactical moves. Dade City's a horse who came up first time from Bobby Barbera. I don't know if he's going to find a better spot, per se. On the other hand, I think he's better than this race makes him look.
I think he is, and I think moving forward, horses like Measure Up and Ambassador Bridge, both a little dressed up in their next race because of these paces. Another horse that I don't want out of this race is Buffalo Tsunami, who faded to be 5th in here. Buffalo Tsunami was the even money favorite in this race, and he'll probably take money again in his next start, but the other two horses that were up on the pace outlasted him in this race, and I thought ran quite gamely, and Buffalo Tsunami, a big disappointment in here.
I agree. Buffalo Tsunami's a horse that had his chances when he was before about a year or so ago and didn't get it done, came off the layoff. Was in a tough spot, didn't do much running, dropped down in here, didn't run at all. I agree. I think we'll get at least one more chance to bet against him at a relatively short price.
We'll get a couple more chances to do trips and traps of Big A races as we look forward to the move on to Belmont Park. But in the meantime, keep those emails coming, trips and traps at NYRAinc.com.